I'm going to tell you right now, I love this. I love this because I want to reach out my hand and bring you in to the conspiratorium. For many people, this is the first time you've ever even been in anything near weird with the, Candace Owens, Erika Kirk, and November Renaissance and all of this. You're thinking to yourself, this is crazy. It's not crazy. It's not crazy. They're going to tell you you're crazy because nobody has ever been involved in anything like this. On September the 11th in 2001, we're looking at the 25th anniversary of this. When I jumped into this thing, and I'm here in New York, and I said, hey, wait a minute. Don't you understand? I was saying things that today it doesn't seem like much, but I would say, what about Building 7? Don't you understand at 5:20 p.m.? And they go, this guy's out of his mind. What do you know about explosives and controlled demolitions and Operation, and PNAC? And what happens is, and please remember this, in America, I can't speak about the rest of the world, but in America, instead of these people saying, well, maybe I should learn something about this, no. Because they haven't heard it, you're crazy. Because they haven't studied it, because they've never come across it, you're crazy. If it doesn't cross their threshold, it means nothing. No matter what it is, whether it's JFK, MLK, name it, okay? Name it. Now, work with me on this, all right? Especially if you're brand new. And we got a lot of newbies here, a lot of tyros, a lot of brand new, I don't want to say ex-normies. I don't want to use all this argot that explains this. But let me explain to you. Let me start off with something. Marshall McLuhan once said, and this is the most important thing in the world, and this is what you must understand, you must grasp. The medium is the messenger. Marshall McLuhan said that little lies need protecting. Little lies need protecting to be kept secret, to be kept as lies. But big lies are easy because of our incredulity. You see, that means the bigger the story, the bigger the claim, the bigger what you're claiming is, the easier it is for it to just occur right in front of everybody because it's so crazy. Two people who've never heard this before. Pick any subject you'd like. UFOs, vaccines, anything. Anything that deviates from the official bumper sticker narrative handed most Americans. Okay? People, Americans, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but I would venture to say Americans love things really just wrapped up. They don't like their world unsettled by you coming across with these crazy theories. And that's one of the reasons why Candace poses a problem. Because they want this to go to bed. They don't care anything about Charlie. You would think there would be this voracious appetite for the truth. Oh, no, not in this country. No. It's the opposite. So here's this woman. First, you see a video of this. Kind of watch the YouTube of Charlie. Was this an entrance wound, an exit wound? We don't know. And the first thing that we did, remember this? Our group, being not conspiracists, but just regular rational people, we said, let's see if this story makes any sense. And out of nowhere came people who, one was a Marine sniper retired, or one was a ballistics expert, or one was a hunter. And they said, no, based upon our ideas, our frame of reference, our expertise, this could not or did happen, or whatever it was. Now, I'm a trial lawyer, former prosecutor, and we have used as expert witnesses people who were just very good at something. One time there was a case where, I remember there was a teenage kid who was an expert in scuba diving. for a civil case because he really knew scuba. He knew everything about this, and there was something involving the regulator or whatever. So anybody can be an expert witness. Let me also remind you that jurors are regular people who get to hear this. They're not experts in this. They're not experts in ballistics and controlled demolitions. No, you tell them that, and then they weigh the evidence. Big lies are easy to keep secret because of your incredulity. This far-fetched, it sounds crazy. That's the stuff. Erika Kirk comes along. And all Erika Kirk had to do, so help me God, after this horrible dispatch, and I'm not suggesting we don't know who was really responsible. I don't know, say Tyler Robinson, but well, that remains to be seen. But do you think somebody at TPUSA or somebody would have said, listen, Erika, somebody who knows this, listen, hon, they're going to find out about us, you, your parents, your mother, Fort Huachuca. Just you know what? You don't need this. You don't need this. Candace Owens is she's hovering in. And I'm surprised we went this long. I'm surprised we went this long under the radar. Nobody cared about you because everything they're finding out right now about November Renaissance and all this, they could have found out before. But nobody cared about her. They were interested in Charlie. And that's the way that works. Nobody thinks about going after, whoever. But because you're now in charge, and because you insisted upon doing, the Carol Merrill, Betty Furness, Ask Your Parents, the Vanna White kind of, it's like the woman at the car show, I mean, just what do? It's like this is her default. And I'm going to say something right now. And you're going to be very upset by this. And I understand this. But I don't care. But it's true. One of the things which I believe attracted Erika Kirk to the limelight, like many other women in our society, that puts an inordinate amount of attention on looks and glamour and sexy and everything. But one of the reasons was because of being the star. Look at her MO. Look at her background. Look at her. Just look at who she is. She wanted to be the star. Used to call it the beauty queen, She wanted it. America's sweetheart. Sexy, American, with a series of shape-shifting. Okay, I'm sexy. Now I'm a Christian. Now I'm a mom. Now I'm this. Fine. Listen, everybody does that to an extent in show business. But she couldn't let it go because she says, "Oh no! Now's my chance." No, you don't understand. No, I'm up there. I'm up there, and I'm gonna run TPUSA, and I'm gonna do it. And hey, Erika, yeah, what is it? You just got about 5 or 6 Fox News wants to do an all-day coverage of Barry Weiss, CBS. Oh, I'm in. You've got a book, Erika. Not now. What do you mean, not now? I'm doing it now. Okay, Erika, listen. You can do it, but tone it down. Do you know how to act? A grieving wife is more shocked. They're going to first say to you right off the bat, Erika, why are you doing this now? Let it go. And she said, are you nuts? Now? They want me now? Oh, no. You strike while the iron's hot. I'm going to go now. I know that may sound cruel, but prove me wrong. Well, you can't prove me wrong, but tell me a theory tell me why that doesn't make sense. She has been waiting for her, it's like Sunset Boulevard. She's been waiting for her close-up since day one. We live in a society where pulchritude is sexy and this and that. This was it. And Charlie was, oh my God. Charlie had something which, let me tell you something. You want to be sexy? Great. You want to be athletic? Great. What Charlie had was noble and godlike, and chosen and Christian and good and moral, and righteous and smart and brilliant. I mean, people loved him. They loved him. I will never forget. We were at a birthday party, and I talked to some friends of mine in my own circle, but this one particular, and it just so happened two of our friends who have kids in college said, I can't believe my son and my daughter was absolutely just thunderstruck, waylaid, just leveled by his. They couldn't believe it. They were such huge fans, and the parents never knew it. I know cases of people who told me, I was a big Charlie fan too. I mean, almost on the level of Joe Rogan. I think we understand this. This guy was huge. He was their Billy Graham or their, I don't know what the comparison is. And he was, oh my God, he was the Republican, the conservative, the poll star, the bellwether. He was the leading, the guiding light. He was it. He was it. He was the focus. He was everything about it. It was so critical that people understand exactly what it was, how great he was. And he's gone. And immediately, people said, wait a minute. Don't you care about this? They've never been through this before. This was their John Lennon, Princess Di, this moment, JFK, where somebody important to them was gunned down, and they couldn't believe the lack of attention, the lack of interest. Not even incredulity, not even surprise, nothing. It was just like, oh, well, move along. And the first thing Erika did is stand up and she said, all right, I forgive him. Let's go wrap this up. And they go, whoa, wait a minute, whoa. Can you wait? The barrel is still warm. And then there was the story itself. The story, which I've told you many times, doesn't make any sense. And by the way, recently, Erika apparently applied under Utah law as a request for a speedy trial. It's not mandatory. But Utah's apparently a victim's rights state, and it kind of says, hey, listen, if it's all the same to you, can you speed this along? It's still odd. Speed it up? Most people say, you take all the time in the world you want. You get the son of a... Not her. Hurry up. Let's go. Odd. It's one odd thing after another. Okay. And then it happens. I don't know the moment. I mean, she was there the whole time. But the moment that Candace Owens enters, that's it. It's like, oh no. Candace, she's the Mike Wallace of our time. Remember the old joke? The worst thing in the world you can hear is Mike Wallace is in the waiting room. He wants to talk to you. So this is bad. Because she gets on something. She doesn't let go. And the more you go after her, the harder she fights. That Chinese, that little, what's that thing? You put your finger, that straw device where the more you pull, the more it, okay, that's Candace. She gets stuck in the miasma. She tries to pull your foot out of the quicksand, and it gets deeper. You don't want her after you. Plus, she has legions of people who love to see her in action. So from the get-go, she is like this. I mean, she's like a dog on a bone. She is not letting this thing go. And all Erika had to do was just go away. It would have seemed cruel if they would have brought Fort Huachuca up and all this stuff. They would have said, oh, Candace, for the love of God, the poor woman's at home with her kids. Is she? What about Charlie's parents? Where is he buried? I mean, we don't know. It's the weirdest thing. The more you pull, the more it pulls back. You know what Mandelbrot's fractals are, right? Benoit Mandelbrot. You dig, you look closer, and it just keeps going on. You think there's no end to it. It keeps replicating. There's no end to this. You're digging and digging and digging. So Here she goes. All of a sudden, Fort Huachuca, you would think somebody would say, all right, that's it. She knows about Huachuca. DEFCON 4, 3, whatever it was. That's it. Battle stations. That's it. All right, Erika, you're out. She's on to Huachuca. She's on to it. And they get this guy, Mitch Snow. I was there. I saw. And they ripped this man apart. This man had no... what a waste of flesh. They assailed his DNA. Everything about him. His past, his family, his morals or lack thereof. I mean, it was unbelievable. Incredible. There was no end to it. But he was right. And we're not going to rehash this, but they tried to assail him. They tried to impugn him through his son, and his son verified. Okay, so that's Huachuca. Okay, fine. We're done with the Fort Huachuca. The name sounds stupid. Enough. Oh, no. Oh, no. Then we find out that there's this Kickstarter, pilot, November Renaissance with her, conspicuously positioned sexily on the cover. There was some Kickstarter program. And everybody and their mother involved in this, I'm surprised, in QTEL or some CIA, funding scheme or platform didn't take care of this. But anyway, everybody who was in this supposed movie was involved in Fort Huachuca. And her mother and her father with this and drone technology. I mean, it turns out because Erika didn't know to stay home, she is the most, we used to say, mobbed up. She's the most spooked up. I don't know what the term is. She is so incredibly enlaced and entangled in all things intel. You can't believe it. And then we find out about this gate, this gifted and talented, programs, and how maybe they'd have been called, and it just keeps getting deeper and deeper. And then we're wondering about did they recruit kids? Did they pull them? Did they pluck them out to be groomed for CIA and intel positions? And it's just all of this because Erika had to be the star. She had. Remember, if there was no Erika, who would be talking about Fort Huachuca? It would be like. But because she's there somewhere with those glarings, enough, stop, oh my God. And Candace says, stop, stop. Oh, honey, we just begun. And the stories, when you take somebody who for most of their life has never been privy to any of the CIA operations, Ajax and Paperclip and MK Ultra and Stargate. I mean, they just, they think you're out of your mind. Even though it's been declassified. MK Ultra's been declassified. The church committee, they know nothing. I've done this with I was red-pilled on 9/11. I kept telling people, do you know about this? No. Do you know how many military drills there were? No. You know what Building 7 is? Building 7? What are you talking about? You know who no. You know who Honey Hanjur is? No. They know the names of the pot? Nothing. They have this bumper sticker, playbook, cookie cutter, kind of a surface level, kind of a veneer idea of the story. And everything, instead of you saying, well, let me look into this, they go, it's crazy. It's crazy. I do this all the time. Because we also live in a research world. Let me explain to you. This is something, and I think Candace must know this as well. There was a time in my generation when we had 3 networks and we had a library, or some say a library. This thing called the Dewey Decimal System. And if you wanted to find something out, you had to get in your car and go to the library and talk to that woman with the chignon, answering the phone, maybe the research person, and good luck with that. Today, you can pick up your phone And especially now with ChatGPT and AI and all this stuff. And you can learn so much. Just the name, somebody to verify it. Granted, not the last word, but you have the library at Alexandria in your pocket like nothing we've ever known. We are awash in information, awash in data. We are swimming in data. There is no reason for us not to know anything. And these people won't pick up their phone to even look up anything. I don't know what parallel universe they live in. But do you know what they love? Do you know what they love more than anything else? Do you know what gets them going? What invigorates them is to hate. And they hate Candace. We love her. They hate her. And Candace loves the fact that she's able to engender this particular type of reaction. They hate her. Everything about her. How dare you think you're going to do this to us? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Not only that, her positions on Israel, in some circles, made her real popular. Other people found her intrigue as far as the actual gender classification of Brigitte Macron also have, they thought that was fantastic. Believe it or not, a lot of people liked her until, see, Candace is like Trump. Trump in the 80s was the biggest thing in New York. Everybody loved Trump. Trump was on every show there was. They loved Trump like you cannot believe. Trump was the greatest thing in the world. Anybody, they loved Trump, love him, love him, love him. Now they hate his guts. Same thing with Candace. They loved her. She was great. I mean, but then they came after her. They came after her. They sounded either the dog whistle, they sounded the klaxon, hit the alarm, and they said that who? That image killer, Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro couldn't lure me out of a burning building. Ben Shapiro doesn't understand, I'm sorry to say this, how weird and nerdy and strange and odd he is. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't get it. You think somebody would say, Ben, not for nothing, but, pal, you're kind of weird. You're weird. You're weird. We're doing research and we got somebody else. Somebody who looks, have you seen those people that they try to push? Remember that one kid? I don't know if he was a kid, but he was like Stepfordy. He was smiling, had a strange name. I'm thinking, who the hell is this guy? They were just auditioning people to somehow to steward the helm of TPUSA. You got to be kidding me. It's the weirdest thing we've ever seen. And then, here comes Candace. And then there's Tucker. And they start attacking, they're attacking Tucker for whatever reason. And then comes Nick Fuentes. By the way, Nick Fuentes, just read what's up about him. Great career move, Nick. You've got it figured out. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish, but hey, good luck to you, buddy. So Nick is joining with Alex Jones, whom I love, and they both have, or one of them has come up with the idea that Candace is an Adderall. She's suffering from Adderall-induced psychosis. That's good. That's good. Not just crazy, but psychosis. I know a little bit about psychosis, lab work and clinical work and prosecutor and the insanity defense. Candace on her, she may be a lot of things. She may be a lot of things. But psychotic, no. It's like the word psychopath. They use these words all the time. It's like, anyway. So they're coming after her. Oh, they're nuts. And they are going nuts. She's crazy. And they never say the reason why, Candace. See, you're wrong about it. See, Fort Huachuca was really an installation opened in 1958, which was devoted to weather research. And there is no drone. Something, I'm just making this up. That would be good. It's like, well, and you almost act like you feel sorry. Like, well, Candace, you got it wasn't Fort Huachuca. It was Fort Chupacabra, which is around the corner. That's the one. It wasn't the 82nd Airborne. It was the 42nd Airborne. Somebody to come along and make her sound like she doesn't know what she's doing about it. She's out of her league. I know this can be confused. No, she didn't do that. They said she's an Adderall-addicted psychotic. Imagine the Oxford debating club. And to my esteemed colleague, you're a dim-witted psychotic. You're a misanthropic. You're insane. You're a gobsmacked catamite. Oh my God. What are you talking about? Who attacks people? I grew up in a generation where we had on the weekends William F. Buckley, interviewing Mortimer Adler on how to read. I mean, this was I've never seen anything like this. Even Bill Buckley and Gore Vidal, well, a little bit, but still, this is nuts. This is crazy. And then you bring in the old guy, poor Piers Morgan. Bring out Piers. What? Yes, because Piers says, hello, yes, I'm British. I don't know what's going on. I put people together who basically hate each other, and I act like I'm the voice of reason. And it's like a cockfight. I bring animals who are baited, who yell and scream. I don't know what I'm doing. But I speak with the British patois brogue. And Americans think that we're smarter. No. Come on. Stop it. It's just, there's this new, but anyway, these new folks are moving up. By the way, Dave Smith and Dinesh D'Souza on Judge Napolitano, please see that. One of the best debates, truly a debate. It was not really rebarbative, but it was exciting, and it was polite, very, very intelligent. That was great. There's all these new stars, these new people coming out, and that's fine. But at the very top, Candace. Rogan's over here, but Rogan's the numbers. Rogan can talk about everything from, who built the pyramids to the latest, frog hallucinogenic or whatever it is. That's okay. And, eating raw meat or whatever. And that's fun. But in terms of the person who gets the most, who was in the focus, it was Candace. And they keep handing it to her. They keep handing it in the criminal law business called a grounder. Sometimes when there was this murder one time on the Upper East Side, it was a dry cleaners, and the murderer had something where for some reason they were bleeding, and they left a handprint. I mean, on the glass, on the window, and some NYPD lab tech or crime scene tech says, well, I'll run the prints and go, hey, you know who it is? It's, Larry Lipschitz. And sure enough, they go, incredible police work. Shoe leather, the dogged gumshoe. They go, no, it's a hand, no, it's a grounder. Sometimes you just, and every day, these people still fight. They fight and fight and fight, and they are imbued by and in this, I guess you'd call it almost like a parallel universe or some kind of weird inertial bubble that they think they believe they live in. They think they live in this world where they are somehow by virtue of their virtue, by virtue of their countenance and their Christianity and their genius and their brilliance, they don't have to worry about things like consistency and logic. They don't have to worry about that because we're TPUSA. I'm Erika Kirk. I don't have to worry about this. You don't understand. But they're basking still in the protection, if you will, the virtual intellectual Kevlar that was brought about by virtue of Charlie. Charlie's gone. Charlie's gone. So I don't know where this is going. But the first thing they have to do is remove her from, this is Candace, did I say that? Remove Erika from the on-deck circle, because the problem is she's the focus of this. And look, America understands bullshit. We know it. Number two, we're not stupid. Number three, there's a group of us who are part of the conspiratorium, more maybe intellectually geared toward, maybe because we like it, maybe we used to be called a sleuth. We supposedly live in this world where we're into, this true crime business. We love this stuff. We can follow it. And if you have our group versus the regular, the conspiratorium is what I call my group here, and the rest of the world, In our group, we say, all right, any of you heard of DARPA? Our group hands will go, who? DARPA? Wasn't it the girl in the Little Rascals? No, that's Darla. Oh. Anybody heard of MK Ultra? Paperclip? Ajax? Geoengineering? Just go down the list. Just go to... We don't believe everything, but we know what's there. We understand about things being declassified. We read. Don't you remember the church committee? Don't you remember when Helms basically took all of the information regarding MK Ultra and burned it? I mean, this was the most incredible. Annie Jacobson, I believe, talks about the idea of how the Pentagon and DARPA used mysticism, paranormalness, and parapsychology because they were so afraid that the Russians would be using psychics and the like. The police have used psychics to try to find bodies. What do you think that is? That's remote viewing. You've heard about this. Police have used psychics. That's remote viewing. It's like a human, like a spiritual drone that goes out and looks. You don't have to believe it. You just have to know it's being done. So, in conclusion, if you're new to this, especially, and I say this, we want to welcome our new members, our new generation of conspiratorium members. Welcome to the clerisy. You could be a conspirateer. Don't forget what a conspiracy is. A conspiracy doesn't mean crazy. It means an agreement between two or more people intended to bring about something nefarious, something illegal, something criminal, something wrong. But it's two or more people. It's the name of an agreement. That's all it is. A conspiracy is the arrangement. That's all it is. It doesn't mean crazy. A conspiracy means two or more people. All it means is, I said, well, I don't want to be a conspiracy. You mean more than one person? All it means is if you act alone, it's not a conspiracy. If you act with two or more people who are joined together in this confederation, acting in concert, it's a conspiracy. That's all. And when you ask the question, was the JFK assassination a conspiracy? That means, was there anybody involved other than Lee Harvey Oswald? And the answer is, was there ever? But that's the way that works. So forgive me if I remind you of these particular terms, because sometimes, as you know, we kind of lose track of what they mean. So first, let me thank you for this. Your thoughts, your like I told you for years, I didn't read any comments. Anybody. I said, oh, dear God, no. It was just horrible. So I said, let them talk. I'm just not going to. It's not helping me, to hear how I'm loathed. But now, it's a different story. Because I believe we are meeting together. We have coalesced in unity. We have coalesced behind a very simple idea of truth, of doing it for Charlie, but also helping our gal Candace. Because she's up there in the front. She's like that guy in Tiananmen Square, with the takeout. Remember him moving with the tank? That's who she is. And I'm behind her 100%. And if you don't like her, don't listen to her. She's not crazy, and she's not an Adderall addict in the midst of some kind of psychotic fugue. But thank you for that. Thank you for this. Let me also thank you, by the way. I appreciate it immensely. You have been following my wife's YouTube channel at Lynn's Warriors. We have another, probably more powerful than anything I feel regarding this, is our desire, hers in particular, spearheading this for years, to protect children, to stop human trafficking, and to stop digital predation. What's happening to the minds of our kids and what AI are going to do to kids. It's oh my God. We used to worry about in my generation the guy with the van, the guy, somebody snatching you, maybe some guy at a bench, with a raincoat, exposing himself. No. What kids today have to endeavor and negotiate is horrible. So thank you for that. Follow her at Lynn's Warriors, and thank you for following this. So anyway, I've got some questions afterwards for you to follow up. Thank you very much. Thank you for you're brilliant, for your verve. Support Candy. Bless her heart. I call her Candy. I just started. She may hate that. I have no idea. But support her. And support anybody who's out for the truth. Support anybody out there who says, I'm not going to ask permission. Any goddamn permission about what I'm just going to say what I want. And nobody's going to stop me. I like that. All right, my friends. Thanks for watching. And remember this. Our final words. Our valedictory. Our adios. Our sayonara. Comment as you see fit.